Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
This is I was gonna say level one. This is a O.N.E.T.A.P 12-step meeting, and this meeting consists of support for one another in the process and growing and developing of how to take 100% responsibility for our lives, our emotional well-being, our physical and mental state. And today we're going to look at recovery is a process and not an event. And sometimes when we get into certain modalities, trainings, and healings, we want it to be an event. We want to be a weekend that we go, heal your body, heal your sexual self, and we want to come back and we want to be clean. And fortunately, it's a process. It's the journey, and the journey of 1,000 steps. I don't know if that's such a thing or how that shows up, but Richard and I would like just to take an opportunity to read this. Recovery is not a process. It's recovery is a process, not an event. And as we read it, we're going to just kind of see how it applies in our life. If you notice something that bothers you, take responsibility. If there's something you disagree, check your belief system. That's your subconscious mind saying there's something here to look at. It's not right, it's not wrong, it's an opportunity to look at. And in Mastery of T, U.N.E.T.A.P's world, we are trained to notice our feelings, observe them, notice them, experience that pain, that whatever it is, and then to tap and let it go. In the middle, side of the eye, underneath the eye, and the collarbone, take a deep breath, peace. So what you're doing there is you're interrupting that feeling, emotion, sensation, and you're here, you're safe, it's all a thought process. Richard, did I miss anything there?
I don't think so, no.
Okay, so you observe, you notice, you experience, and you step out of that, you look here, you're present, you tap, and you're aiming at other stuff. You're not thinking about the problem anymore. You're shifting from noticing it and observing it and shifting out of that and looking in the room, where you at, look at your body, your hands, your fingers, take a deep breath. Take a couple. If you take a couple deep breaths, it puts you in a different state. You're putting oxygen into your brain cells. You're sending different messages that you're here, you're alive, you're consciously bringing yourself in, and you're not in your head. So with all that said, take what you like and leave the rest. This stuff is what we share and where we're at in our life, in our journey. It might change tomorrow because beliefs change, minds change, memories move and shift. So Richard, can you read? Do you want to start reading?
So I can't see, I can only see part of step one.
Okay, did you want to read the whole kit and caboodle, or this whole, okay, what is it that you see?
It just says new 12 steps of transformational belief system. That's all I can read.
Oh.
And a little part of the top.
Okay, let me see if I have to share this particular one here. Stop sharing.
I'm on a very small tablet here as well, so I've got limited resources. But I could use my phone, I guess. There you go.
Oh, because you have it, right? Okay, what about now?
If you send it to me, then... Oh, there you go. Ah, right, okay. So, shall I read this?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so recovery is a process, not an event. This workshop series brings proven techniques for changing unhealthy or addictive patterns of thinking or behavior. If you are looking for practical tools and techniques for personal development and spiritual growth, the simplicity of this workshop will pleasantly surprise you. If you are at the point in your life where you would like to change ingrained patterns of thinking and behavior that have become barriers to having the kind of life you only dream about, this program can help. If you've never been exposed to the 12-step recovery tools, this program will show you how to use these tools to change patterns of thinking and behavior that you no longer desire in your life. If you're a newcomer to any form of 12-step recovery, I'm lost now. Right, okay, so I've missed the other end of that one, so I'll just go on to the next one. If you're looking for practical tools and techniques for personal development and spiritual growth, right, so here we are. If you're a newcomer to any form of 12-step recovery, this can increase the speed. The information of this program could increase the speed of and quality of your recovery. The recovery process, not an event curriculum, is a uniquely powerful blend of 12-step facilitation and cognitive self-change tools. This combination gives you a proven and easy way to use the method for changing unhealthy and addictive patterns in your life. The 12 steps are re-imprinted with permission of Alcoholics Anonymous World Services Incorporated. Permission to reprint the 12 steps does not mean that AA is in any way affiliated with this program. AA is a program of recovery from alcoholism only. Use of the 12 steps in connection with programs and activities which are patterned after AA but which address other problems or in any other non-AA context does not imply otherwise. Additionally, although AA is a spiritual program, it is not a religious program. Hence, AA is not allied with any sect, denomination, or specific spiritual belief. Recovery is a process, not an event. 2, take 4, part 4, step 4, 32 minutes introduction. Do we need to read this back?
No. So let's see here. That's just a breakdown of what's.
By the way, all those tapes are on YouTube for free.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay, so participation introduction questions. Who are you? Why are you here? What is going well in your life? What would you like to see or improve? If you could learn anything, any one thing from this workshop, what would it be? What would you like it to be? What's holding you back from having a better life? Barriers, habits, attitudes, beliefs, expectations, potential results. The 9-dot exercise.
They're basic exercises to look at perception.
Connect all 9 dots. Okay, I don't have the 9 dots up here. But you guys, I think you can look that up. Possibility thinking. What possibilities are your current patterns of thinking and behavior blocking you? And this is an opportunity for, one to just really write it down and explore that. I mean, that can be what we call a, you can do an art of change questions there. How do I know, what is it that I want? What's the desired outcome? What's my future pacing? What's my feelings, problems? How do I know something's blocking me? What do I know about blocking? It's a feeling, a sensation. It's happened to me. It's happened to my mother, my father, my aunt, my bald-headed granny. So you wanna go, take your time and use these to find resources that you call blocking. So what's necessary? What's unnecessary? What self-imposed restrictions are keeping you from a happy, healthy life? We have stories, guys. I mean, we have stories of why we are imposed or restricted. We have stories as to why I deserve to be unhappy, unhealthy. What happened to me? Who did it to me? And so this is another opportunity to just discover and recover these personal issues. Let's see, is it possible that recovery and personal changes could be easy for you?
The predominant belief in recovery is that is that it's difficult, it's hard, you know, but you can do it. I think that's kind of the predominant belief with recovery.
Yes. And you know, we have an additional layer of with skills that we have is that it is possible. And recovery comes in different levels, and personal change comes in different levels. And could it be easier for you? And again, that is a program. It could be a program of, no, it's hard. You know, my mom had it, my dad had it, they died with it. You know, it's hereditary, it's gene, it's in the pole, it's my circumstances, it's my, you know, so we have lots of programs that say it could be easy for you or it could be difficult for you. And when you step into a 12-step program, into a healing process, you are as healthy as the program or as the mindset of that healing modality. And this might be really heavy and really big for some people, and probably didn't get that part. Just replay it. So if you are in a system that says you're a sinner, that says you got this diabetes, you got this, you know, schizo, you know, so if you've been labeled and tagged, you are as healthy as that process, that healing modality. And here in the Faster EFT U-Taptics world, we know how we create our problems, and we know how to change memories and rewrite those belief systems. So, okay, so that's a little rant. How does...
I apologize, I can't remember what that much.
Which one?
The lock-on, lock-off process or principle?
Okay, lock-on, lock-out principles apply to this exercise, and we will discover those together. How does this apply to your thinking about what is possible for you in terms of recovery and personal growth? And we don't know the context. Yeah, well, you know, like I was saying earlier, we can use each of these words into a Faster EFT Art of Change context, into our own storytelling, and see how we create our own problems, and also how we're able to change our belief system. Okay, are you now willing to use material presented in this workshop to help you become a possibility thinker instead of impossibility thinker? And you know, the 12-step program, you know, even if it's what's that guy's name, Russell Brand, yeah. He's got a 12-step recovery that he really brought down to a level of I don't know, it's like survival. Like he's so raw, I think. I don't know what he is, but
like step 1, are you fucked? Step 2, can you unfuck yourself? Yeah. Sorry for the language, but that's what it says.
Yeah, and so, and you know, and what are we going to make that language mean? Are we, you know what I mean? So if you catch yourself noticing how you're judging, how you already have preconceived notions, notice how you are shutting certain parts of what's being said for whatever reason, not right, not wrong, but just notice how we judge everything. The tone of voice, the hair color, the no hair, you know, what is said, how it's being said, what's not being said. And I just want you to use this as an exercise to notice how, and we're supposed to judge. I mean, it's our survival part that has been working for, you know, however millions, hundreds, thousands years. It's that survival part that is analyzing and judging, and is it going to hurt me? Is it going to pain me? Am I going to survive? So that's just normal. The objective is to observe and to notice it and to experience it, and then come back to the moment and notice where you are. You're in a safe place. You're listening to this. Okay. Searching together for answers to common asked questions. What do the 12 steps do to people who work them? How do the 12 steps do what they do for people who work them?
Okay.
What do they do and how do they? What will the 12 steps, will the 12 steps work for me? How do I go about working with the 12 steps? If I've already worked one step, why should I go to step 1 and work them all over again?
Yeah.
What do you see? What objective can you see on this card? Can you see that? Okay, we don't have that one. What do you see? Okay, well, here's step 1. Richard,
Yeah.
read step
Yeah.
1.
Okay. We admitted we were powerless over whatever that is, that our lives had become unmanageable. So step 1, first half, we admitted we were powerless over a substance, person, place, thing. Instructions to study the big book from the preface through to page 43. That's
You guys, you can find this online or go to your local AA. We're just using this principles or foundations, and this could be applied in any area of your life. It doesn't have to be alcohol. It's just principles and concepts. Okay.
So look for similarities between what you read in the pages about the experience of powerlessness over alcohol and your own experience of being powerless or having no control. Write out a mind map, the description of what you're currently powerless over and how it is affecting you today.
And a mind map to me could be the art of change, you know. Write the belief structures. Write your what the problem is. The mind map could be, how do you know it's a problem?
Yeah.
You know, whatever you're currently powerless over, if that's your son, your husband, your was wife, your boss, your boyfriend, whatever you're currently powerless over. And you know what powerless feels like. You know, you felt it before. Notice it and notice how it feels. Does it feel like you're weak? Does it feel like you're a wuss? Does it feel like, you know, what does it feel like? And write those down. So you do an art of change. That's the mind mapping. It's the art of change where have I felt this before? You know, close your eyes, take a deep breath. Notice where you felt that before. Write it down. Write that title. Write that memory. And those are the ones that you can go through and tap out, just disrupt the focus of that. And then go back and visit it and then you be persistent. You keep going back until that feeling, sensation, description of what you're currently powerless over and how it's affecting you today. Notice it affects you at work, it affects your mind, your stomach, you get sick, you get anxious, whatever it is. And those are the ones that you are interrupting the focus. You're aiming at the problem and then you're focusing on something else, which could be all the red in the room or all the brown or all the gold. You can take deep breaths, blow it out. Okay.
Yeah. The typical mind map that was used in these is just like get an A4 piece of paper, write, you know, I'm powerless over, and then, you know, you go off and you write things like my emotions, my wife, you know, my boss at work, you know, things like that. My addiction, you know, you could write that down. So it's just getting a sense of what you're powerless over.
Yeah. And it's pretty interesting because once you write it down, it's different. It's different because see, right now we just take it like truth. in our head, in our mind, in our hearts, in our bodies. We just take it like truth. Like, that bothers me. I'm currently powerless over that. But when you write it down and you put it on paper, there's another sense of detachment. There's another sense of a perspective to look at something different from a different way. And you will feel stuff. You guys just let it go. Let it go. And not let it go like suck it up, let it go, but allowing yourself to be good to you, be nice to you. Peace. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so number 10, Paulus over, step 1, second half that our lives had become unmanageable. So read the second half that our lives have become unmanageable. Instructions, read second full paragraph on page 52. We had to ask ourselves, yeah, these are the bedevilments. That's what I was talking about. These are the 9 areas that we change over to a positive one.
Okay, very good.
So it says, where am I having trouble managing my emotions? So you write down the current problems there.
Mm-hmm.
Where am I having trouble controlling my emotions? Write down, you could use a mind map, the different emotions that you're currently having trouble controlling. Where have I been experiencing misery? You could write down, you know, a bit like a peace list, a list of areas where you're experiencing misery. Where have I been experiencing depression? Where am I having trouble making a living? Where am I having feelings of uselessness? Where am I full of fear? Where am I unhappy? And where am I having trouble being of help to others? So writing a pretty comprehensive list of as much information that you can find going back into your memories there.
Yes, and so just to reiterate, or not reiterate, but maybe a peace list is a list that you make that you want to make peace with. So it's ultimate forgiveness. So it is a peace list is writing every memory, every thought, every situation, every event, every feeling that you want to make peace with, that you don't want to drag that for 10 more years, 5 more years, that you don't want to drag how you feel about your current relationship in a new relationship, or in a work relationship, or in a parent relationship. So a peace list is a list that you want to make. It's a list that has events and situations that you want to complete. We need to complete the story about our parents and how they did you wrong and how they should have this. Look, your parents did the best they did with the manual that they didn't have. Okay, and sorry that they couldn't live up to your rules. My parents could not live up to my rules, my standards of what it took for me to feel loved, complete, secure. We gotta give them a break. We gotta give them a break. Okay, so that's a peace list.
Yeah. So then after the questions, it says, so write out a mind map description of how you're currently doing in all of these areas. And then question based on this assessment, is your life unmanageable right now?
Sorry.
If the answer is yes, then you move on to the next step, step 2. Right, so these are the same questions, right?
Where have I trouble managing relationships? Where I have trouble controlling my, yeah. Can't make a living. Okay, step 2.
Right. Okay, so came to believe that a power greater than ourselves had restored us to sanity. Should we unpack that a bit?
Yeah, sure. Came to believe, here guys, here's a belief system. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Definition of sanity is sound mind, being sane, mental health, tendency to avoid extreme views, Sanity. Well, I can see the areas I need that in my life.
Mm.
Go ahead.
Okay. So let's look at some information on how the mind works and how mental health is created and maintained. Okay, so these are going into some beliefs about the subconscious and the conscious mind.
Okay, so let's go there.
Okay. We've gone past them a little bit. Do we want to go over these or just go on to this question?
I think maybe just going into the subconscious mind, the conscious mind, just to kind of, some of us have no idea what that means. Like when I first heard subconscious, I'm like, what does that mean? And this was like, 19 years ago when, I heard about how the subconscious mind and conscious mind works. And I'm like, okay, well, that's cool. But like, really, how do you apply that in your life?
Okay. So, from this perspective, it says that there is the conscious mind, the subconscious, and the creative subconscious.
Okay.
So the conscious mind, this part of our mind perceives the world. It perceives reality through input from our five senses of sight, sound, smell, and touch. The conscious mind has four functions. 1, perception through our senses. 2, association. Compare the perception to our past experiences. 3, evaluation. After we associate what we perceive through our past experience, we evaluate these perceptions to gauge how they might affect us. Number 4, decision. We finally decide on a course of action, reaction, or decision. I like it that it said reaction there.
So kind of like what I was saying earlier, we're judging this thing right now, and we're saying it how we're saying it, and we're feeling it, and we're judging it, and this is just part of the conscious mind. Is it going to be beneficial? Is it going to be? So we're judging it, and so sometimes we say keep an open mind. Just keep an open mind. Go ahead.
Okay, so the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind has 2 functions. It's a recorder, stores our versions of reality or the truth as we believe it to be. This includes our truth about ourselves and our self-image. 2, automatic body functions and habits, handles automatic and learned functions like heartbeat, breathing, etc., or habits like tying shoelaces or driving a car. Okay, so the creative subconscious. So this is a term I'm not completely familiar with. So the creative subconscious has 4 functions: to maintain reality, make us act like the person we see ourselves to be. It maintains our self-image and makes us act like we picture ourselves. Provides drive and energy when it senses a problem. Where did that go?
Sorry.
Okay. Where did it go, Rita? What?
I didn't know. Okay, sorry. So you found it?
No.
So
I'll
maintain reality.
Okay, so 1, maintain reality, make us act like the person we see ourselves to be. It maintains our self-image and makes us act like we picture ourselves. 2, provides drive and energy when it senses a problem or obstacle in the way of our goals. It provides energy, motivation to find answers and solutions. 3, creative problem solving, including intuition and hunches. And 4, spiritual guidance.
So in the faster EFT eutaptics world, what we call this is the metaphoric mind. It's the metaphoric mind. It's like law of attraction. You're maintaining this reality that you're a dynamic person, that you're an entrepreneur. It's maintaining the reality that, hey, I'm successful. And so when it's maintaining that, it's not only whatever your self-image about that, and we're making pictures of what that looks like, and it goes to the opposite as well. So and then provides drives and energies. You know, you're either going to get used to feeling the way you're feeling because it's the automatic function that's recorded in the subconscious mind, step 2, up here. And when we have problems or situations or memories or issues, we're maintaining that reality in our head. Are they coming after me? Are they doing this? What's going to happen? And I got to do this, and I got to be a certain way, and I have to be. And so sometimes we have the same problem, the same issue that shows up. You know, you're dating the same kind of guy that your dad was. You're meeting bosses just like your mom. You know, so it comes in an uglier pair of shoes, as Robert G. Smith would say. So creative subconscious provides a drive and energy. When it senses a problem or obstacle in the way of goals and provides energy, motivation to find answers or solutions that match, guys, right here, that match what we hold inside. So how have we been creating our problems year after year, decade after decade, family after family, centuries after centuries? My mom did it, because that's the creative subconscious mind that is doing that. So in our world, we're able to release that, rewrite those memories that and not even attract those kind of things, because we no longer hold betrayals. We no longer hold resentments and angers and frustrations because we release the memories that hold that information from our earliest memories, our earliest childhood. So, okay. Go ahead.
Okay, so summary of the thought process. 1, perception through. Have we read this bit?
This is just a summary.
Okay.
So okay. We can just go to step 2 again, continue.
Okay. So here it's talking about read pages 44 to 57. We're agnostics, which it's in the big book, and it's explaining lots of things, I guess, about belief in a higher power, like that. Yeah. So set new direction, vision for each of the 9 areas that you assessed in the second half of step 1. What would your life look like in each of these areas if you didn't have the unmanageability? If you could be anywhere you would like to be, how would you be in each of these 9 areas? Create mind maps of how you want to be in each of these 9 areas. Write down your visions of each area. Mind mapping your step 2 visions. So go on.
What I want to add to this, and I only say this because I speak from experience, is that we're lazy. I'm lazy when it came to this part. You know, to write down your visions in each area. Here in Fast REWRITE and the Art of Change, part of the process is to future pace and is to create a desired outcome. To really, if you had a magic wand, what would your life be like? So you do an art of change in the future pacing, how you would like for it to look, and if we really come into that part and really sit into it and really write down our visions, our goals, our dreams and desires with a tool that can really allow you to step into that, create memories and feelings and sensations that are empowering, it is so much more faster, quicker, faster EFT, you know, emotional freedom, thought, technology, what is it? Transformation. So so really, no need to rush, you know. Step two, or step one, step two, really just stay in the moment, stay in this, you know, we're so quick to, you know, let's get it done, hurry up, you know. If we really sit and write down your vision for each area in a way that is empowering, that's future pacing, that's creating a foundation. And I really encourage all of us, and I, you know, to really sit into that, to
Yeah.
create art of change work, work or mind mapping in this protocol here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so mind mapping your step to vision to what would your life look like in the area if it didn't have the unimaginability. And sometimes when we're hung up in our problem and our story of how bad our life is, that will take a little longer. But keep tapping, keep focusing on how you know, observe, notice, experience, tap it out, aim, persist. You just got to keep doing that cycle, guys. And so you go into what? Relationships, into healthy emotions, joy. What would your life look like in this area if you did? Okay, enjoy. So mental wellness. So you take the same questions through those 9 steps or 9. Okay, helping others. How big is your God?
Yeah, I guess we don't have to go into that.
Huh? You don't have to, you said?
Well, not in. I mean, I guess it'd be useful to talk about it. I mean, the way I think the word God has been. It can be a really loaded word. And we live in a secular scientific culture, and yeah, but the way that I see the word God, it's just about it's about the transcendent, and the transcendent can be, you know, a transcendent you know, where you'd like to be, where you want to be, where you see yourself. And so that's really where I want to keep it in this context. I don't know if you've got anything to say on that.
Yes, so I totally agree. And it's loaded. The God word has so many meanings, so many beliefs, and these beliefs are, you know, we started when we were infants, right? And we have the story of what God is through our parents, through what we interpreted and perceived at the age of, you know, 5, 6, 7, 8. So just notice what you hold in as God: a good God, a bad God, a loving God, a controlling God. Just we have no denominations, we have no belief structures that hold us or limit us, right, Richard?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
just let go of old beliefs that don't work. Let go of old beliefs that hold you hostage with the mindset that you are wretched and wicked and a sinner. Let go of old beliefs that keep you in shame and in guilt. I don't know what they are. I don't know how they showed up, but just be aware of them. So it's possible for you. It's possible for you to receive and act upon a new set of truths, guys. The truths are what you make it, and what you hold inside, and how you perceive it. So be aware of that. It is possible that a power exists in the universe which is capable of giving you the results in the 9 areas you described in your vision statement. It's possible because, you know, there is a power greater than us. I don't make the sun rise. I don't make the sun set. I don't bring the, you know, and no one I know has that power. You know, it rains when it rains, and the earth rotates on its axis. So there is that. So there is a power greater than ourselves that could Show us the light, maybe. I don't know.
I'd like to add a little caveat to that in that like that power. Well, it's my belief, I guess. I could say that that power is in me as well. Like the universe isn't separate from me. You know, it's not something that it's not something that currently isn't in me now. It is already in me, and I guess that can lead you to think that you need something outside of yourself, which I don't believe either. I believe that it's already in me.
Very good.
Yeah.
Describe your mind map, the characteristics of a power that could bring about change in your life and that you might consider turning your will and life over to. So, you know, this 12-step meeting to me is kind of like that, where as a group we can connect, we can process through our pains and hurts, we can shift our thinking, upgrade our mindset. And so turning your will and your life over to that, you know, to truths, you know, to truths that work, to truths that are empowering you in your life, to truths that help others. That's how I look at it, you know. Hi, Marie. Welcome.
Hey, Marie.
Hey.
So we're just going through Recovery is a Process, Not an Event. And
Okay.
it's another 12-step program that's out there that kind of helps you kind of bring it in. And Richard and I are just kind of reading over it and just doing a little perspective implanting of kind of how faster EFT, eutaptics training kind of helps recovery in a fast. We should call this faster recovery.
Yeah, I've used it with some of my clients who are in recovery, and they think it's marvelous.
Yeah.
Very good. Step 3. Do you want to read, Marie?
Step 3. Oh, right. Step 3. Okay. Made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand Him. Read pages 58 through 63 in the big book. That's in the 12-step book, is it?
Yeah, the original one. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know it, so I don't know what that might be.
Don't worry about it.
Okay. So, set spiritual direction for your relationship with God. Describe or mind map exactly how you would like it to be. Your vision. Well, it's very much like rewriting your old stuff or setting future pacing or whatever you want to call it in our world, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm very much of my thing with God is these days anyway is very much like, you know, law of attraction stuff where source, I consider it all to be source, and I'm attached to source anyway, and sometimes I'm with it and sometimes I pinch myself off from it. So that's how I look at that. So I don't know does that fit in as well?
You know, it's a perspective and it's a belief system that, you know, we all have, and we all come in with different structures of
see, the bit in the next bit where it goes, God, I offer myself to thee, and that relieve me of the bondage of self, take away my difficulties. See, and I start having a problem with that because that's lower model of the world, surely.
I agree. Yeah.
So there's some parts of it I have trouble with because it takes away self-responsibility, you know. That's the bit that I have trouble with.
Yeah. we can create an upper model affirmation that does the job just as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you know, when we look at the 12 steps and kind of, you know, how it originated and where it came from,
Yeah.
this, you know, God, I offer myself to thee, to build with me and to do with me as thou wilt. Relieve me from the bondage of self, that I may better do thy will. Take away my difficulties, that victory over them may bear witness to those I would help of thy power, thy love, thy way of life. May I do thy will always. Page 63 in the Alcoholic Anonymous. So you're right. We're putting this could be the lower model of the world, but if, you know, 12 steps, people are hurting, people are dying, they're addicted, they're trying to come up out of, you know, why, you know, self-medicating with their drugs and their mindset. So this is just a little bit higher than where they're at, because right now the drug, the alcohol, the abuse is soothing their pain, right? So here is a possibility where they could, you know, turn their will and their life over to the care of God. And I think it helps them to step out of that. And as you continue to find spiritual help, as you continue, maybe the application is a little bit different. So that's the contents that.
Sorry, go on.
I know, I was going to say that's the content that I see recovery has been. In the Fast REWRITE tactic world, we have the belief system and structure within that frame is that we take full responsibility for emotional well-being. That empowers us. That's bringing the responsibility and the power back in us. We learn skills and techniques on how to do that, how to rewrite memories, release pain, release hurt. So I'm not saying that we're better, but we just have a different perspective, and we have a different belief.
Of course, we're better.
We have a different belief system. Not that this is wrong. Please use this, and if this gives you peace and this gives you direction and love, start with this. I started with this. Until my maturity level, you know, was different.
Yeah.
The original third step it's about making a decision. The first three steps are essentially diagnostic tools. 1, have you got the problem? 2, can you change it? 3, okay, so commit, basically commit. And then after you commit, you do the step 4, which is what we call a peace list. So that's what it was all about, essentially.
I love that. That is great. And it really does empower you when you commit. There's a level of empowerment. So that's great. God is love. Who wants to read this?
I can try. So how God relates to me: gives me direction, develops, teaches, supports, funds, protects, values, and guides me. Gives me work that is appropriate for my level of development and capability, supplies whatever resources I need, and get the assigned work done well. Makes power available to me, gives me all the power I need for whatever I am asked to do, allows more power to flow through me as I become a more clean and efficient conduit. Enables the characteristics of the love thought system to be present and manifest in every area and aspect of my life. Loves me unconditionally. Fills me to overflowing with love. Allows and develops me to be a channel of this love. Teaches me how to receive, experience, and give love. How I relate to God. I seek and follow directions well. I am faithful, devoted, focused, energetic, and hardworking. I am a good reflection of my employer. So that's about the belief inside 12-step fellowships that you've got a job to do. That I think that's what that's about, you know, that you've got to help others. So yeah. So am I an efficient user of time and resources that are given to me? Constantly develop capability and knowledge that allow me to do greater service work in the future. I am dedicated to growing along spiritual lines and being of maximum service to God and my fellow man. Anybody else want to do a bit more of this?
Yeah, go on then. All I hear when I'm reading this is judging all the time.
Okay, and let me just tell you what I hear.
Okay.
I hear, you know, 12 steps, where it came from.
Yeah,
and people have no concept. Like, I can't even think outside my fix, my alcohol, whatever it is. Like, I'm so stuck in this world that this right here is future pacing them. Here's an opportunity to get some skills. Now they have purpose. They're getting the skills to help themselves and the fellow man, you know, to be a good worker, you know. So
it's good worker.
Well, you know, sometimes
if it's working for yourself, I can. That comes into it. But this, you know, being an efficient user of time and resources that are given to me. That sounds like.
Sometimes people need direction. Sometimes people need structure, and this structure is in the, you know, it's just another level of people to be able to step up to the ranks of their own life.
Sure. Okay, I'll read the next paragraph without getting arsy about anything. I constantly seek to become a more clean and efficient conduit for God's power to flow through. That's okay. Clean my connecting link. I can go with that. I allow God's power to flow through me to whatever purpose, surface, or need He chooses, without any form of resistance or dissipation by myself.
Notice it's a small HE.
Yeah. I live my life on God's power, not self-power. I use the power I am given to be of maximum service to God and my fellow man. See, I don't think Source requires any service from us whatsoever. So, you know, but yes, I can see, I know where you're coming from. I know exactly where you're coming from. Okay. I love, honor, and respect all living things. I look for and find love in all people and situations that I encounter in my life. I live my life centered in the love thought system. I love myself and others as God loves me. I seek to become an increasingly cleaner and more efficient conduit for God's love. I'm constantly learning how to receive, experience, and give love. Yeah, no problem with that one.
Thank you so very much for reading that. And just for you out there who are listening, the reason we have resistance is because we come from an upper level of the world, which means that our perspective is that, you know, we take responsibility for emotional well-being. We take responsibility for how we feel. It's not a circumstance that has created our problems, but it's our belief system. It's the memories that we hold inside, that we have hypnotically been programmed from birth to even to today. And so we have become an automatic machine. And with Wellbriety U-TAPic world, we're allowed to consciously be aware that there is a memory that holds information that says, you know, could say a lot of things, but we have problems and issues in mindset because we learned it from it's our survival. We had to survive in a home that was blank, 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 whatever your perception is. And there's nothing wrong with that, guys. This is just an opportunity for us to not let the past create our future. Okay, this is just an opportunity for a level of growth that allows us to be who we really want to be. And who do we really want to be? We don't know, so we start with the basics. You know, we started with giving our power over to our families, our churches, our gods, our doctors. We give our power, and then slowly we start taking it in. This step 12 is going to allow you just to go into the next step of the evolution of transformation. And then now that you've been introduced to Eutaptic's faster EFT world, your recovery will be that much faster.
That's for sure.
Yes, agree?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay. So look for truths. In faster EFT Eutaptic's world, we do have this thing that we call transformational healing, or the transformational, which is we take ownership, we seek truths that improve our life, and we turn that truth into wisdom by making it a part of our daily life. And those truths don't limit us. So anyways, thanks, Richard, for coming back.
That's okay.
Okay, truths. Step 4. Fourth step reminder. You're no longer trying to work these steps on your own. Write a prayer like this on top of the page. God, help me to be honest, help me to remember, and give me courage to complete this inventory.
Yeah.
So,
and we can write it into a secular affirmation of our own choosing, right?
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
and you know, you can be addressing yourself. You know, you're addressing yourself. You're addressing your. I look at God like your subconscious.
Yeah.
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 So God, subconscious, help me to be honest, help me to remember, and give me courage to complete this inventory. If you have resistance, guys, because you know, working the program for me, there was a lot of resistance because I had a lot of stories about what that meant. So you have a tool. You have a tool that you can release any fear about what it means to be honest. You can release any fear of your inventories, what you did wrong, how you said it, how you hurt people, how people got hurt because of your behavior. Peace. So we have a tool. Observe, notice, experience it, know how you know it, do the art of change, tap, release, rewrite. So it goes faster. So now you're interrupting that focus of like, oh shit, I have to do my inventory. Okay. Creative, subconscious, truth, resentment inventory, 5 columns. Okay. Then name the cause, what they did hurts, threatens, or affects my mistake name. So what we do is we give it a title, right? So give it a title. This is the ultimate forgiveness. This is part of the transformational process of creating a life that you love. So you make the amends list. Again, it's the peace list. Make peace with every person, every institution, every principle, belief system. Make peace with yourself, guys. You fucked up. Okay, let it go. I fucked up. You know, your self-esteem. Who am I? I'm rotten, you know, sinner, fornicator, la, la, la. Let it go, let it go, let it go. Know how you know. Write the title down. Personal relationship. Any relationship you had with anybody since you were 5. The kid you kissed and the girl that stole him. You know, tap it out. That's an old resource you don't need. Sex relations, you know, write them down. all your sexual encounters that you remember that weren't pleasant, that weren't nice, that weren't empowering, that you're judging, that you're creating a future with, let them go. Ambitious, a want or hope for something, security, I need.
Can I just add something about the personal relationship bit there, Rita?
Yes.
Quickly. In this where it says men should be, women are, women should be, what it's talking about is in this process, the recovery is a process, not an event. It's trying to separate your belief about, say, men based on your expectations.
Yeah.
Men are, and then you write down, you know, what it might not be so nice what you write down. You know, men are this, that, the other, and then your expectations, men should be. You know, women are, women should be. So that's what it's asking you to do there.
I love it. I love it. I think that's great. I think we need to do that with parents.
Yeah.
My mom is. My mom should be. My dad is. My dad should be. My son is. My son should be. I mean, yes, this is in the sexual part, but I'm just saying, just in general, part of your conquering list and peace list making. This is a great opportunity to do that, and these are great techniques to you know, take what you like, guys. Take what you like and leave the rest. You know. Okay. Pocketbook, money. This could be a whole art of change. Mind mapping. This could be a whole piece list on itself. Do you want to touch on that, Richard?
Pocketbook, yeah, it's talking about so like the old belief from the big book and the 12 by 12 was that we have basic instincts that get threatened. So if our financial instincts are threatened, we try to hurt or we retaliate against somebody, but it's just our perception and our instincts kind of working in us. So that might be an area that there might be resentments or fears around that you might want to write those down.
Yeah, our pocketbook drives us. You know, it drives what we do, how we do it, when we do it, who we do it with. And our pocketbook sometimes controls us. I'm not, you know, it limits our life because our pocketbook is da 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 da. I can't afford that. I can't do that. I can't have that life. I don't have that skill. La la la. That pocketbook really subconsciously, like you said, there's a threat. There's an underlying reaction and perception that limits us in the life that we live. Okay, well, fear, what I'm afraid of, well, that's just fully loaded.
You can write down a list of your fears. Yeah.
Some it'll be easy. Some you have 1,001 fears. I'm not. There's a certain number that someone has already figured out, like how many fears there are. And I think I can't remember how many they said there was. There's a lot, not in the billions, but like maybe 100 basic fundamental fears. And if I can get a hold of them, I'll just, you know, you just tap every single one out. Character defects. If you don't know what your character defects are, ask your husband, ask your sister, ask your girlfriend. They'll write them down for you.
Another way you could frame that is habitual responses as well. I've heard before. If you don't like, if you think that's judgmental, you know, the word character defect.
Yeah.
Say that.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Yeah.
And in our fast reading tactics, yes, we don't call those defects. We call them, what do we call them?
It's all love, man. It's all love.
It's all love, exactly. It's a survival mechanism. It's a program that we have that, you know, that we needed it, but we don't need it anymore. And that's where we're trying to to allow to let go and release. We don't need it anymore. It was a survival mechanism, technique, strategy, and we don't need it anymore. Useful definitions for step 4, character defects. And here are the behaviors. You know, cheat, competitive, conceit, deceptive, dishonest, dishonest by omission. These again, some people call them character defects in your world. When you grow up in your household, you know, these were survival mechanisms. These are just programs that you don't need anymore, so you can change them. You're a grown-ass adult now. You can take 100% responsibility and wake up and notice that you don't need to be harsh. Yes, you did back in the day, you know, when you were 6, 7, 8 years old, so you didn't get your ass beat. You needed to be harsh. But, you know, here you are today, alive, breathing. You survived. You made it through. Those are some of the things that we can let go and rewrite and look at. Peace. Okay.
Peace.
Nice. So there's a lot. The habit or act of eating too much. One with a great capacity for something. Self-centered selfishness. In the world, there's levels that are healthy of self-centeredness and selfishness. Of course, it's not when you take from someone, you know, but that you take responsibility and
yeah. There's some things in recovery as well that are termed as selfish, but you know, like you were saying, that they're not. I think my definition of selfish is if you harm other people to get what you want. That's my perception of what being selfish is. So self-care isn't selfish, you know, taking care of yourself isn't selfish.
right. I really liked how someone said one time, like, selfish. It's funny because, you know, people who are, what's that word, narcissistic?
Yeah.
It's like you're, you know, they call you selfish, or they call you self-centered because you're not doing what they want you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. To be able to see that and not judge them and not make them wrong, and just knowing that, you know, that was a perception I had, is very empowering. And I don't take it personal, and it's not about me. It's you know, it's a program. It's just the program they have. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. There's an awful lot of character defects.
Step four, guys, should take you, you know, maybe a weekend.
Yeah.
And with step 4 or writing your peace list, guys, don't go and feel it. Don't go and step into the memory and feel it and experience it. This is not the time for that. This time is just to write it down. Just write it down. Just write. Detach from it. Let it go. Don't make up stories. Detach. Because these are, you know, titles that you're going to flip. These are things that you're going to work on for a long time. Not just a weekend. Well, maybe if you really sat down and plucked through it.
Maybe, yeah.
So yeah, this is all more step 4 stuff. Okay, here we are. Step 4 vision. Okay, so this is just breaking it down to step 5. Richard.
Okay. So, to God, to ourselves, and to another human being, the exact nature of our wrong. So, yeah, this is working with somebody else, essentially. Is that important to say, Rita? Yeah. And finding the exact nature of our wrongs. So, pick the person with whom you will share. The 5th step is just reading the 4th step with someone else, or working through it with someone else.
So
look for any patterns. Go on, sorry.
it's okay. So step 5 in the 12-step program, you've been working with a sponsor or someone that you trust, and you are you know, they're your backbone for a little bit, and they just help you through the steps, and they encourage you, and we have this in level 1s, level 2s, level 3s, and this one-tap mindset meeting, 12-step meeting, is what I would like to have for people everywhere in the world. That
Like a tapping buddy, Rita?
Tapping buddy, yeah. Yeah, but even tapping buddies, you got, you know, we have to take responsibility. Some people are not there yet to be able to listen to a 5th step. The 5th step is you really want to pick someone who's mature, who's a mentor, someone who is, I don't want to say, you don't really want someone who's like equal. You want someone a little bit, I think, a little bit healthier than you in the mindset world, because, you know, you are, or you hire a practitioner and you do your 5th step with them. I mean, practitioners are trained to be separate and to, you know, there's no judgment, there's no criticism, there's no storytelling. We have a program that doesn't allow us to go there. It's just what life is. It's just a program. We're being the space for a person to say their 5th step without, you know, retaliation, I guess. I mean, I don't know what the word would be. What do you think, Marie? Because Marie's a counselor, so I mean, you can just hire Marie to listen to you for 2 hours, and you know, and of course you can flip memories. So maybe you just do the 5th step, and maybe the 5th step, just by you letting it out, is a source of letting it go. And then you can go back and rewrite the ones that were really stuck in there. What do you think? Okay.
Are we being expected to do this? Are we supposed to be doing this for ourselves? No.
No, this is something that we're exploring.
Right.
And I think we all should practice this to the level that we can. This is just another layer to be able to step inside and, you know, unravel stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, I feel like it's a great tool, and if we can do it.
Yes, it is. Yeah. We did a lot of similar sort of stuff in this when I was training as a counsellor, not with this emphasis, but yeah, you know, been through all of this. So yeah, it does work when you're writing things down like this and putting so much focus on it. And especially if you're doing it with another, as in, you know, your therapist or even just somebody who knows a bit about it, so that they know all they're supposed to be doing is hearing it, rather than, you know, giving any suggestions.
Yeah. So Russell Brand talks about that part too. It's really important that you pick the appropriate party to be able to divulge all your dirty, dark secrets. Yeah. Okay, how self-image is formed. Do you want to read that?
Who, me?
What?
Who are you talking to?
Whoever listens.
Go on, Richard.
Okay. How self-image is formed. Our subconscious mind does not know the difference between an actual experience and one that is vividly imagined. People think in 3-dimensional forms. We think with words. These words, as we think, trigger pictures or images. These pictures bring about emotions, feelings. You could add smell and taste to that, I guess. 3-dimensional forms of words, pictures, and feelings is called self-talk. So as words trigger pictures and bring on feelings or emotions, it is not necessary to experience the actual event. We often record not the reality of an occurrence, but instead what we think about what is really happening. Self-talk is what is recorded in your subconscious mind. It is not the actual events of your life that get recorded, but your interpretation of what you think is happening. Yeah, that goes along with faster FT, right?
Yeah, that could have been taken out of the manual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you go up a bit, Rita?
What happened?
I can't see the rest.
Scroll up a bit.
You scroll up a bit.
Scroll up. There you go.
Dankeschön. So your self-image is the accumulation of all the thoughts, attitudes, and am I in the right place?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Attitudes and opinions about yourself. Your current self-image was built from your own self-talk. Self-talk, the constant conversation that I have with myself as I constantly judge and interpret my own experience.
Okay, guys, right here, wake up. Wake up.
Yeah.
This is big. This is really, really big. You know, let's not gloss over this. This here,
No.
the self-talk, guys, that is the fuel.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the logs on the fire. That is what keeps your shit going.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It's true.
There is moments of awakening, and this is one because I'm telling you to wake up. There's moments that you will wake up from your self-talk. When you do that, notice it, observe it, notice it, experience it, tap it out, aim it, persist, let it go, shut the fuck up, let it go. You hear yourself talking shit, shut the fuck up, let it go.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm right here, everything's fine. I don't have to worry about what he said, what she said, when she said it, how they said it, what they think, I think they think of me. Shut the fuck up, let it go, let it go. You gotta tell yourself, guys, you are in charge here, not your